My sister stood there at our family reunion, smiling as she told everyone she was pregnant with my husband's baby. She whispered in my ear to deal with it, thinking she'd finally won. But she had no idea that I had the projector remote in my pocket and a hidden camera tape that was about to turn her celebration into a nightmare. You might think I went too far, but once you hear what Rachel has been doing to me since we were kids, you'll realize this wasn't just revenge, it was a long overdue reckoning. My sister Rachel has hated me since we were kids. I'm talking real, deep down jealousy that our parents always tried to brush off as sibling rivalry. When I made varsity cheerleading and she didn't, she told everyone I slept with the coach. When I got into UCLA and she only got into community college, she said our parents paid for my admission. When I started dating Marcus, successful, gorgeous, attentive Marcus, she told me at Thanksgiving that I didn't deserve him. I should have seen it coming, but I'm an idiot who believes in family. Marcus and I got married 3 years ago. Big wedding, 200 people, the whole deal. We bought a beautiful 4-bedroom house in the suburbs for $680,000. I'm a pediatric nurse making decent money. He's in tech sales making even better money. We had the prenup because Marcus's parents insisted. They're old money and didn't want their son's assets vulnerable. I didn't care. I loved him. The prenup had a standard infidelity clause. If either of us cheated, the other person got 90% of marital assets and the house. Pretty boilerplate stuff that I never thought would matter. Rachel stayed single. Dated around, but nothing stuck. She'd show up to family dinners and make little comments about my marriage. Must be nice having someone pay half your mortgage. I saw Marcus at Target with some blonde, but I'm sure it was innocent. Just constant little digs that everyone ignored because that's just Rachel being Rachel, right? 6 months ago, I started noticing things. Marcus was on his phone more, coming home late. His explanations were always reasonable: client dinners, team happy hours, traffic. I felt crazy for even questioning him, but something in my gut was screaming. So I installed Ring cameras. Not just the doorbell one. I put them in the living room, the kitchen, and yes, the bedroom. Hidden ones, because by then I knew something was wrong and I needed proof. I also hired a PI for 2 weeks. Cost me $3,000, but I needed to know. The PI came back with photos. Marcus meeting a woman at hotels. But he couldn't get a clear shot of her face. She always wore sunglasses and hats. Whoever she was careful. I didn't confront him. I just kept collecting evidence and meeting with a divorce attorney on my lunch breaks. I was planning to drop the bomb after our family reunion in August. Clean break, controlled environment, on my terms. Then the reunion happened. My mom's side of the family goes all out. We're talking 50+ people at a rented pavilion in a state park. Catered barbecue, a DJ, the whole 9 yards. It's the one time a year everyone gets together. Aunts, uncles, cousins I haven't seen since last summer. I'd been looking forward to it because it meant I could see my favorite cousins and forget about my dying marriage for a few hours. Marcus came with me, smiled and shook hands and acted like the perfect husband. Rachel showed up late in a tight dress and heels, completely inappropriate for a park picnic. She kept shooting me these weird looks across the pavilion. I was standing by the dessert table, plate in hand, when she came up behind me. "Hey, sis, can we talk privately?" Something about her tone made my stomach drop, but I followed her to a spot behind the bathrooms where no one could see us. She turned to me with this smile. Not a nice smile. A shark smile. "So, I've been meaning to tell you something," she said, examining her nails like we were discussing the weather. "Marcus and I have been sleeping together for about a year now." The world tilted. I actually reached out and grabbed the bathroom wall to steady myself. "What?" "You heard me." She looked me dead in the eye. "We've been having an affair. Started last summer at Aunt Diane's 4th of July party, remember? When you got food poisoning and left early? Marcus stayed, and we ended up in his car. It just kind of happened." My mouth was so dry I could barely speak. "You're lying." "I'm really not." She pulled out her phone and showed me a text thread. hundreds of messages between her and my husband. I saw enough to know it was real before she pulled the phone away. And here's the fun part. I'm pregnant. 12 weeks. It's his. I thought I was going to throw up. Marcus is going to leave you, she continued, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. We've already talked about it. He's staying with me for the baby. He said he never really loved you anyway. You were just safe and convenient. But I'm exciting. I make him feel alive. She stepped closer, and I could smell her perfume, the expensive kind Marcus always bought me for Christmas. She'd probably picked it out. So here's what's going to happen, she said. You're going to accept this with grace. You're going to let him go without making a scene. Because if you fight this, I'll make sure the whole family knows what a pathetic, frigid wife you were. I'll tell everyone you drove him away. And they'll believe me because, let's be honest, I've always been the fun one. She patted my cheek. Actually patted my cheek like I was a child. Deal with it, sis. Then she walked away, back to the party, leaving me standing there, shaking. Here's the thing, though. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't run. I smiled. Because I had every single piece of evidence I needed sitting in my car. The Ring camera footage, the bank statements showing Marcus had opened a secret account and deposited $40,000, probably planning to hide assets in the divorce, the prenup with its ironclad infidelity clause, the divorce papers I'd had drawn up 2 weeks ago, and the restraining order I'd filed against Marcus just that morning for threatening behavior, which my lawyer said I could do based on suspected financial abuse. I walked back to the pavilion. Rachel was laughing with her cousins, one hand resting on her flat stomach like she was already the perfect mother. Marcus was talking to my uncle about the Dodgers. I went straight to the DJ booth. Hey, sorry to interrupt, I said sweetly. I have a special surprise for my family. Can I use the mic and the projector screen? The DJ looked confused but handed over the mic. My cousin's boyfriend, who runs the AV stuff, pulled up the projector. We'd been planning to show old family photos later anyway. I plugged in my laptop. Hi, everyone, I said into the mic. The chatter died down. 50 faces turned toward me. Thanks so much for coming today. Family means everything to me, which is why I wanted to share something really special with all of you. I saw Rachel's face go pale. Marcus stood up from his chair. I've put together a little video montage, I continued, about love and loyalty and the importance of trust in a marriage. I hit play. The projector screen lit up with Ring camera footage, timestamp, date, everything. There was Rachel walking into my house with Marcus, kissing him in my kitchen. And then, because I'd installed that bedroom camera, there they were, in my bed. My bed with the custom headboard I'd picked out, the sheets I'd bought at Pottery Barn. Someone gasped, then another person. Then everyone was staring at the screen in horror. Oh my God, my aunt whispered. The video was only 2 minutes, but it felt like an eternity. I'd edited it down to the most damning parts, enough to prove what was happening without being completely pornographic, but graphic enough that there was zero doubt. When it ended, the silence was deafening. That's my husband and my sister, I said into the mic, my voice perfectly calm, in my house, in my bed, for the past year. Rachel was frozen. Marcus's face was the color of concrete. But wait, there's more. I switched to the next file. Bank statements filled the screen. This is Marcus's secret checking account at Chase. See that $40,000? That's marital assets he was hiding. Financial infidelity to go with the regular kind. I turned to face Marcus directly. Come here, honey. He didn't move. He literally couldn't move. I walked over to him, reached into my bag, and pulled out 2 manila envelopes. These are divorce papers, I said loudly enough for everyone to hear, with our prenuptial agreement that has an infidelity clause. That means I get 90% of everything we own and the house. You get your clothes and your car. That's it. I handed him the first envelope. His hands were shaking. And this, I handed him the second envelope, is a restraining order. You need to be out of my house by tomorrow and stay 500 feet away from me at all times. The police have already been notified. I turned to Rachel, who was crying now, mascara streaming down her face. Congratulations on the baby, sis. Hope you two are happy in whatever apartment you can afford on his 10%. Should be fun raising a kid on that budget. Oh, and I called mom and dad this morning and told them everything. They're not covering your rent anymore. You're on your own. My mom was crying. My dad looked like he wanted to murder someone. My aunts and uncles were staring with their mouths open. Anyway, I said brightly into the mic, please enjoy your dinner. The brisket is amazing. I unplugged my laptop, grabbed my purse, and walked to my car. I could hear shouting behind me, my dad yelling at Marcus, my mom screaming at Rachel, everyone talking at once, but I didn't look back. I drove home, packed Marcus's stuff into garbage bags, and left them on the lawn. Changed the locks, poured myself a very large glass of wine, and sat on my couch in my house that was about to be completely, legally, entirely mine. The divorce took 4 months. The prenup held up perfectly. I got the house, $520,000 in cash and assets, his 401k, everything. Marcus tried to fight it, but there's no fighting video evidence and hidden bank accounts. His lawyer told him to take the deal before I sued for more. Rachel lost the baby at 16 weeks. I found out through my mom. I didn't feel good about that, I'm not a monster, but I also didn't reach out. Last I heard, Marcus and Rachel are living together in a sketchy 2-bedroom apartment in the bad part of town. He lost his job when his company found out what happened. Turns out sleeping with your wife's family member is a moral turpitude clause violation. Rachel's working at Starbucks. They're broke, miserable, and no one in our family will speak to them. My parents apologized to me. My dad cried. They said they should have shut down Rachel's behavior years ago. We're rebuilding our relationship slowly. Me, I got promoted to head nurse last month. I'm dating a great guy I met through work, and I'm sitting in my beautiful house that's paid off, worth probably $750,000 now, with zero debt and a fat savings account. Sometimes at night, I think about that moment when Rachel told me to deal with it, and I smile, because I dealt with it all right. I dealt with it in front of 50 witnesses while she was holding a plate of potato salad.